Welcome to Reddit Echoes, where stories that sound like they belong in a movie are real, painful, infuriating, bizarre, and absolutely true. Have you ever heard a story that made you feel both heartbreak and rage? One that had you screaming in your head, "Why the hell would they do that?" Or maybe one that reminded you of yourself. In today's episode, we're diving into raw moments of life, where the line between right and wrong, love and manipulation, forgiveness and self-preservation gets blurry. These aren't just Reddit posts. These are real voices from real people carrying real scars and making the kind of choices no one ever wants to face. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you loved, if you've ever felt alone in the very family meant to protect you, or if you've ever had to choose between forgiving someone and saving yourself, then today's stories are for you. So grab a coffee, take a breath, and get ready to step into the echoes of Reddit. Story 1. He just had to listen to me, and now I'm learning how to walk again. I never thought a single impulsive moment could steal my entire life. But that's exactly what happened. All because he didn't stop when I told him to. I'm a 26-year-old woman. I used to be energetic, optimistic, addicted to CrossFit, and for the first time in my life, I finally felt like things were falling into place after years of battling ADHD. I had a boyfriend, now ex-fiancé, he's 30, and he has a sweet 5-year-old son I absolutely adored. On March 14th, yes, I remember the exact date like it just happened yesterday, the three of us went out for Chipotle. It was just a normal day. Bright, peaceful nothing to suggest fate was waiting for us around the corner. On the way home, we were approaching a busy intersection with a flashing yellow light. I clearly saw a car speeding toward us from the left, so I turned to him and said firmly, clearly, "Don't go. Wait for green." But he hit the gas. I don't know if he didn't hear me, ignored me, or thought he could beat the car. All I know is that in a split second, my entire world shattered. A deafening crash. And then, everything broke. When the pain began, he and his son were okay. Some bruises, a mild concussion. But me, I was crushed. I couldn't move from my seat, couldn't scream. Pain flooded my body like a tsunami, swallowing every thought, every sense. I had a double pelvic fracture, a broken tailbone. L4 and L5 vertebrae were shattered, and I fractured my sternum. A doctor told me with a cold yet honest voice, "You survived one of the worst trauma cases we've ever seen." I was rushed into emergency surgery. They put 2 7-inch steel screws in me to hold my pelvis together, and that was only the beginning of the nightmare. From hospital to hell, I woke up in the hospital completely immobile. They gave me a back brace, the wrong size. The nurses admitted they didn't measure, just estimated. When we asked for a replacement, they ignored us. Then they told me someone fresh out of surgery with a shattered pelvis and spine to get up and walk. I screamed. Not out of drama, out of pure soul-ripping pain. The kind of pain that doesn't leave your bones, that rewrites your memory with only one word: suffering. A week later, they transferred me to rehab, but I couldn't eat, couldn't bathe, couldn't move without crying. I used to be fiercely independent. Now I had strangers feeding me, cleaning me, helping me use the toilet. There are no words for that kind of humiliation. A year erased. I'm back home now. But recovery, that's a long road ahead. My doctor told me, "You'll need at least a year, probably longer. No weight on your right leg for 3 months. No bending, no twisting." What does that mean? It means everything I built, healthy routines, school friendships, CrossFit, normalcy, it's all gone. Deleted like I was unplugged from my own life. I'm angry at him. My boyfriend. The man who caused this is still here. He's apologized. A lot. He cried at the scene. He panicked during the surgery. He visits every day. He bought me a $300 hospital bed so I wouldn't suffer sitting up. He cooks, he cleans, he does everything. I know he's not a bad person. I know it was an accident. But I warned him. I told him. I saw the car, and I said, "Stop." And he didn't. And now I'm the one paying for it every second, every breath, in pain. When I asked him, "Why didn't you stop?" all he said was, "I don't know." He doesn't know that "I don't know" has stolen an entire year of my life. Maybe more. He still walks. He still plays with his son. And I sit here typing this in agony, both physical and emotional. Hospitals, insurance, and injustice. After so many complaints, I finally had to call the hospital myself and go full-on Karen. Yeah, I said it just to get the right brace. Guess what? They only had 2 sizes, small, medium, and large XL. They gave me the large XL. I'm 5'1" and under 110 pounds. What a joke. We're now facing around $100,000 in medical bills. Insurance is trying to help, but nothing's guaranteed. An open ending, or the beginning of the end. People my own family have told me I should leave him. Some say I should sue him. They call him careless, arrogant, but I'm not sure. I see the pain in his eyes. I see his regret. He didn't leave. He didn't run. But I'm still angry. I'm still hurting. And I'm the one trapped in this broken body, fighting through every single day filled with pain, trauma, and loss. I don't know if I'll ever forgive him, but I do know this. If he had just listened to me for 1 second, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be this broken shell. I wouldn't be someone learning to walk again like a toddler. Thank you for listening to this heartbreaking story. What do you think? Should she forgive her fiancé? Or should he be held more accountable for what happened? Let us know in the comments below. If this story touched something inside you, like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another real-life story that hits deep. This is Reddit Echoes, where stories aren't just told. They echo truths about love, pain, boundaries, and forgiveness. Story 2. He betrayed me. To please the people who ruined my childhood. I don't think I'm a difficult person. I'm not the type who holds grudges. But there's one thing I've learned from over 20 years of surviving a toxic family. Sometimes, forgiveness is the stupidest thing you can do to yourself. I went no contact with my parents the day I turned 21, and I've never regretted it. The years that shouldn't have existed. My childhood had no warm hugs, no joyful family dinners. Instead, it was filled with screaming, manipulative control and a warped belief that I was worthless. My dad. The type who's always right. If he said the tree in the yard was neon green, you could pull up Google Images and he'd still scream until you nodded out of fear. My mom, cold. Ice cold. I've never once heard her say "I love you." I used to think maybe she was just broken, until I overheard her whisper useless waste when she thought I was asleep. I'm not sharing this for pity. I'm sharing this so you understand. When I cut them off, it wasn't impulsive. It was the result of years of fear, isolation, and self-doubt. Meeting him and believing in love for the first time. I met my now ex-boyfriend at a work conference. He was warm, funny, kind, especially non-judgmental. When I opened up about my past, he just listened. No fake optimism. No, but they're still your parents. Just quiet, steady listening. From the very beginning, I told him I don't talk to my parents. I don't want them to know where I live, my number, nothing. That's my boundary. He nodded, squeezed my hand, and said, "I get it." And I believed him. The ring, and the secret behind my back. We were together for over 3 years, living together, raising our sweet dog Luna, planning a trip to Italy, talking seriously about engagement. Then one night, 2 a.m., I caught him whispering on the phone. Not to another woman, not to a friend, but to my mother. I froze. When I confronted him, he lied like a teenager caught stealing. Said it was an accident. Said she called his office. Eventually, the truth slipped out. I found her Facebook. I messaged her. They invited me to dinner. They said they just want to know if you're okay. that you misunderstood, that you're cold and selfish, that you cut them off without giving them a chance to make things right. I don't know what hurt more, that he went behind my back, or that he believed them. The cheap proposal weeks later while I was still reeling trying to breathe through the emotional shrapnel he proposed. You know what, with my grandmother's ring, the one I had kept hidden away, the only thing left from the one woman who truly loved me. I told him once how sacred it was, how I kept it like a relic. He had taken it without asking and used it for a touching proposal that felt more like a slap in the face. I thought if you wore it, it would help you heal, make you feel less alone, like you have a family, like you have me. I pulled my hand back and walked out. The confrontation and the final lie. I didn't go no contact right away. I came back to talk, to try. But the more he spoke, the more I realized he didn't get it. I was trying to help you reconnect. I think you're being stubborn. All parents make mistakes. No. This wasn't a mistake. This was abuse. He didn't know I had tried to take my own life at 17, after my mother smashed a phone into my face for refusing to call her dearest mom. He didn't know my father once locked me outside in the freezing night because I wore a skirt he didn't like and said I was dressing like a tramp. He only knew what they told him. Their sugar-coated lies. Easy to swallow, easy to forgive. I didn't forgive you might think I'm cruel, that I'm cold, that I should learn to forgive. But forgiveness is only real when it's your choice. Not guilt, not pressure, not manipulation. If I went back to them, it wouldn't be forgiveness. It would be betrayal. And I refuse to betray myself for a man who trampled my boundaries like they were a suggestion. The ending. With a twist. I left him. I moved out. Took Luna with me. 1 week later, I mailed him a letter. Inside was my grandmother's ring. Sold. I'd used the money to donate to an organization that helps survivors of domestic abuse. And in the letter I wrote, "This ring used to symbolize love, but you turned it into a weapon you tried to use to force forgiveness. I don't need it anymore. But I hope it helps someone out there who never got what I didn't get either. A chance to believe they are worthy of real love." What do you think, was OP too harsh? Or was her boyfriend just a manipulator in disguise? Let us know in the comments below. If this story struck something deep in you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss a single true story. This is Reddit Echoes, where the forgotten voices get to speak again, once and forever. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. Maybe you're left wondering the same thing I am. What would I do if it were me? Forgiveness sounds noble, but sometimes it's just an excuse for someone to hurt you again. Boundaries so necessary, yet so often ignored. And love, the thing we all hope will save us, can become the sharpest blade if placed in the wrong hands. The stories today might have made you feel understood, or angry, or maybe, just maybe, they reminded you that you deserve to be loved the right way. We don't share these stories just for entertainment. We share them to remind each other you are not alone, and you are never wrong for choosing yourself. If you've ever been through something similar, share it in the comments. You never know. Your story might give someone out there just enough courage to speak up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because every week Reddit Echoes brings you true voices, real emotions, and sometimes the truths no one else dares to say. We'll see you in the next video, and remember, you deserve kindness, no matter what your past looks like.